Hey everyone, it is late at night and I'm Norman. Tonight we're going to be doing part 3 in my Microbrands series. We're going to be looking at some of the pieces that 4 different Microbrands produce, and they're pretty great. So let us begin. So the first brand that I have on my list is Furlan Marri. And I thought that this brand was new to me because I saw an article on it today and it turns out it was already in my database. So I went to their website. The watch that I saw in the article looked pretty great. I didn't realize that the hour indices on it are actually diamonds. But shockingly, they don't look terrible. So this watch is the Disco Onyx Diamonds. And look at that dial design. That looks so great. It looks good with the shape of the case, which is super round. The lugs are tucked up underneath the case. I love the details around the edge of the dial. And the handset they went with, brilliant. It's a fairly minimalist watch. It has a sub-seconds, no date. The case size is 38 millimeters, so it's nice and subdued, especially for this dressy style. As you can imagine, they are not cheap. These retail for about $3,500, and at the time of this recording, it's not available. But you can request to be notified when it is. However, this isn't the only watch that they put out. They have some other designs. They have a great looking sector dial piece. It's a chronograph with a chronograph subdial at the 9 o'clock, which is a great touch. They went with kind of a cream color for the indices and the sectors on the dial, so it gives it a touch of sort of vintage vibes and just kind of softens the colors of the dial. They make another chronograph, and this one has 2 subdials on it at the 3 and the 9. And the way they divided up the dial on these watches looks really good. The one that I chose to share for this video was the gray variant. So there's sort of a darker gray circle where the hour indices are, the 12 and the 6. And just outside of that is a black or very, very dark gray minutes/seconds indication. And outside of that, on the edge of the dial, are some of the chronograph measurement indices. I think for speed, like car races. They do yet another sector dial design, and the one that I'm showing here is the salmon color. I just love their dial designs, even the one with diamonds on it. They just look so great. And this piece here is kind of a combination of that second chronograph we looked at, and sort of like the sector dial one. This one actually has sort of a 3D dial to it. It's lower in the center of the dial. And it raises up to where the hour indices are. This green colorway looks absolutely amazing. And this one is not a chronograph. It has a case similar to the one with diamonds for its indices. I just love this brand's designs. They look so great. Okay, so not every company in my Microbrands database is something that's off the beaten path. There are a few that are pretty well known. Most of them are brands that I hadn't heard of, but this next one is something entirely different. I think most of you are familiar with this brand. It is Furlan. And they make this great looking piece with sort of a salmon colored dial on it, integrated bracelet, and that bracelet looks really good. I like that design. It has big and bold hour indices on it and a date wheel at the 3 o'clock. And they make this great looking green dial piece. Their use of color in their various colorways is phenomenal. The hues, like this color of green, looks so good on this watch. And it's complemented by that beige sub-seconds dial with an orange hand. Just genius choices. These pieces are no date watches. And I included a shot of this watch because I feel like it just hammers home my point about their use of color. That white dial with that shade of blue looks so good together. This is such a clean design. And they make an amazing looking green chronograph. I just can't get over the way that they use color. And it looks so good on that strap. I'm generally not really a green dial person, but this looks really cool. There are 3 sub-dials on it and no date. And look at the orange and turquoise on this piece. This is a GMT watch. I'm not sure what that orange hand is. At first I thought maybe it was a pointer date or something, but the numbers around the edge of the dial are not date numbers. So that might just be a really crazy looking seconds hand. Super cool. I like how they did the date window on this. It looks like it's part of the design. And check out this world timer. I feel like this was so well executed. And for the last piece we'll look at, I went with something a little bit different. This piece. I love that case shape and design. And again, the color. That green looks really good. And look at the sub-seconds on this piece. What a cool idea. So there's green in the center of it, and then a white ring with the indices within it for the sub-seconds. They went with Roman numerals on this watch, but they don't look fancy or dressy. They somehow look kind of utilitarian. It's very interesting. It kind of has a California dial feel, but it's all Roman numerals. Now in the show notes below, I have links to all of these Microbrands' websites. So if you like their designs and you're interested in them, like these Furlan watches, I didn't go over their specs or prices, but yeah, peruse their site if you like their designs and are interested in them. And in the future, I'll probably do deeper dives into these brands and really go over the specifications of their watches and the brand's history and whatnot. Tonight, we're just kind of looking at cool looking Microbrand watches. The next brand on my list is Envision. And this brand really only has one design, but in different colorways. So the case design on these is really cool. It kind of has a similar aesthetic to when brands do sort of jewel cut crystals on their watches. I love this case shape and the way they did that crystal. My favorite is this dark dial, nearly black, I think it is. And what's interesting is it's kind of a blend between dressy and sci-fi. It's very interesting. Look at the bracelet on these watches. They're very futuristic looking. They also have a green dial variant. I love the indices and the Delphine hands. And just that crystal, that is so cool. I would be staring at that all the time. They also have a red dial variant, which looks really cool, and a blue dial variant. These would be really cool to see in person. Okay, for these, I have to know what the dimensions are. So the cases are 33 millimeters wide, the lug-to-lug is 52 millimeters, and the case height is 11 millimeters. So, that's kind of hard to picture given the shape of these watches. The lug-to-lug sounds huge, and 33 with a tank style watch would be fairly large, but with this design, I have no idea. I would have to see one in person. They should send me one. The last brand on my list is Elka. They make this great looking sort of cream colored watch. I love the hour indices on these. The primary indices are minutes markers and they're 0 padded. And somehow they actually look dressy when they're on a NATO. Wild. And look at this black one. I think this is the Heroes something or other. Let's look. Oh, apparently they make a super ultra minimalist watch too. I hadn't seen that the first time I went to their website. Here's what that looks like. Absolutely amazing. Look at the color of that red. Oh, so cool. Okay, so the black one is the Elka X Heroes. Man, these watches aren't cheap. They're over $1,000. The blue colorway looks amazing as well, except for that date window, because it's black on white. Definitely should have matched that wheel to the dial. It would have made it look more elegant. But yeah, they do this design in a number of different colorways, so be sure to check them all out on their website. So there you have it, another batch of Microbrands, most of which I hadn't heard of before. Thanks for watching.